Once upon a time, great inventor Walter Elias Disney was born. He began his cartoonist career in high school when he drew cartoons for the newspaper with the intent on pursuing a career as a newspaper cartoonist. However, this path was interrupted by World War I, where Walt participated as an ambulance driver for the American Red Cross in France and Germany. When he was 21, he began his career in movies by distributing 1 or 2-minute animated films to local movie theaters. Disney's most famous character, Mickey Mouse, was handcrafted in 1927, and by the 1930s, this mastermind began to create his feature-length cartoons. From here, Disney's career shot upward as he attained status in the cartoon industry. As new features advanced the cartoons he created, such as sound and color, Disney's creations reached new heights. The public adored and loved every and everything about Walt. Adults and kids alike gathered for his creations. Walt's own quote says, "You're dead if you aim only for kids. Adults are only kids grown up anyway." That's exactly what Walt was, a grown-up kid. This is what made Walt so popular. His most famous attraction, Disneyland, was created in the 1950s when Walt realized he wanted to bring his fantasy and creative design to life. Walt Disney World was being built when Walt died and was finally opened in 1971. This, however, is where the rumors began. Walter Elias Disney was not cryogenically frozen. There are a multitude of reasons of why Walter Elias Disney was not cryogenically frozen. For one, Walt did not even know about cryogenics. Robert Mosley in 1986 published Disney's World, and in 1993 Mark Elliott published Walt Disney, Hollywood's Dark Prince. Both books are highly discredited because they have no evidence whatsoever of Walt ever being involved in the science of cryogenics. Supposedly, Walt Disney is under the Pirates of the Caribbean ride and has been inside a chamber full of liquid nitrogen, waiting for the time he can come back to life and fix the errors that his company has made so far. However, no amount of Mickey's magic will ever be able to fully revive the once great known Walt Disney. The science of cryogenics is much more complicated than what was shown in Futurama. The cryogenic chamber doesn't just unfreeze and then you can just walk out perfectly fine. It's a little more complex than that. What really happens is the entire body freezes over and the cells are ruptured by the icicles that form within the body. Major organs such as the heart, the brain, and the lungs are punctured when unfreezing occurs. Thus, that poor soul brought back to life won't even be able to live. In addition to that, the basis behind cryogenics is that when the person is unfrozen, medicine will have advanced enough so they can be fully healed. Another reason why Walt Disney could not have been cryogenically frozen is because he was cremated. Yes, you heard me right. He was indeed cremated. His ashes are said to have been scattered across his amusement parks. However, that's one myth I'll have to explore another day. News of Walt's death spread like wildfire as newspaper tabloids everywhere were pronouncing his death. Walt died from lung cancer. This is a fact, along with the other fact that for his funeral Walt wished to have it privately, just solely for his close friends and family. The public was unable to see Walt's funeral, and thus all these myths came about. This paper legally documents the cremation of Walt Disney. Disney fans across the world hope and pray for Walt Disney's quick return. The imagination Walt has brought about in all of us is what drives this false notion that he is frozen and will be coming back to life. It's time to come to terms and accept that Walt, the grown-up kid, the king of amusement and imagination, is no more. Now that is not myth, but fact.